I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston. There's no vindication for me because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
So grateful I got to know Prince, the man, the mentor, the big brother. I think about him all the time. And I can guess some of what he'd be thinking about the state of the world right now. First of all, he'd be rooting for his Minnesota Twins. 100% know about that. But also, in all seriousness, as somebody who had to knock down so many racial barriers in the music industry, Prince really cared about civil rights and racial justice way more than the world understood.
When Jaguar Wright stepped onto Piers Morgan's show, nobody was ready for the shock that was about to hit the internet. What started as a normal talk about Diddy's legal drama flipped into something that felt like a hidden chapter of the industry finally being exposed. Jaguar didn't hold back for a second. Her voice cut through the room when she said Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't just big entertainers. She called them straight-up gatekeepers in a system Prince had been warning everyone about before he passed away.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
No, you're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter,
Yes.
a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy, and everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting AirTag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Within hours, her words were everywhere. Clips of old Prince interviews started flooding timelines like they came out of nowhere. Fans went back to study his last posts, his cryptic messages about staying safe, and those moments people ignored when he hinted he was fighting something bigger than music. Suddenly, Prince's name wasn't just tied to classic hits anymore. It was being pushed as a symbol of standing strong against an industry that didn't always play fair. Then things got even wilder when Piers Morgan issued a public apology to Jay-Z and Beyonce, claiming their lawyers told him to take down Jaguar Wright's comments. That move didn't calm things down. It exploded the whole situation even more. People started asking why things needed to be scrubbed so fast if everything was supposed to be harmless.
Why did that house burn up? Who the goes to their childhood house for a visit and the goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within a week?
No, the next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So, let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. This is.
When you drive into Houston and old Sam Houston sitting there, you can hear him talking. Guys, every time I drive past Sam Houston on 45, you know what I hear when I see him? That's all I hear. The warden of the South.
Yeah.
Sitting there looking down on everybody. They made a big deal over Robert E. Lee. Imagine what they would do if you tried to take down old Sam Houston.
Come on now. It'd be a problem.
It'd be carnage.
It'd be a problem.
Sam Houston there, he gonna stay there.
So, Jack,
Every time I drive past, that's all I hear.
Nick. Now, another thing that, of course, he spoke on last time was, and at the time it happened, was a slap by Will Smith to Chris Rock. We spoke on it. But since then, Jada Pinkett has written a book where she reveals that multiple times she tried to commit.
Yeah.
Not saying exactly what the reason was.
I don't know why she keeps trying. She just get it done. Don't be bad at everything.
Yeah.
You was an all right actress. You was a terrible wife. You was a bad mother. You was a kid who knew that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do about it. Bilal told me everything.
We know a lot about his medical history overall. We know that he's walking with a cane, he had some hip problems, we know that. But 2 weeks ago from today, he canceled some shows. And at that time, we were told that it was the flu that prevented him from doing those shows. A week later, to the day, he did those. He actually performed those shows. They were here in Atlanta.
Right.
He did 2 shows back to back. And by all reports, people who attended the show, I know you interviewed some of them, they said he looked great.
He killed.
Yeah.
For 90 minutes.
On the flight home that night, back to Minnesota, they had to make an emergency landing. He had to be taken to a hospital that night. So this is Thursday night, Friday morning of last week now we're talking about. Was in the hospital for about 3 hours and then discharged and went back home. And again, it was said to be flu. He needed to get some treatments for flu, really nothing more than that. Over the weekend, he was seen, he performed a little show, I guess, on Saturday night.
Yeah, Saturday night, popped by.
Sunday, he's riding his bicycle, we hear. But then, you know, obviously today, we don't know much about the earlier part of this week. Today, he has a sudden death. So it's a very unusual situation. It's hard to piece it all together. But
How do you piece it all together?
Well, you know, if it was flu, what can happen sometimes is somebody can have flu, and you got to keep in mind that flu does kill tens of thousands of people a year. But typically there are people who are older or people who are very young. So he's 57 years old.
Not people who are putting on shows for an hour and a half.
Exactly. Very active.
Very
and the high
active.
demand sort of activity that he's doing. Can you develop a secondary sort of infection or something? Is that what was sort of starting to make him really sick a week ago, and then he sort of got progressively ill over this early part of the week? We don't know. Was there something else that was affecting his immune system? So typically, he'd be able to fight that flu virus. Is there something that made his immune system weaker in some way? That's a possibility. Were there medications? Were there anything else that was involved? Was it a heart thing that ultimately led to all this?
The urgency had everyone watching extra closely. Prince's fight to take back his music has always been one of the boldest stories in entertainment. After being locked under strict contracts for decades, he finally broke free from his record label in 2014, and for years he talked about how the industry was built to control artists instead of lifting them up. And every time Prince stepped on stage with the word slave written on his cheek, he made sure the world saw the truth he'd been fighting. Fame could look glamorous on the outside, but still come with invisible chains. By the time Prince finally got his masters back, he thought he had broken free from the system, but insiders later said he started feeling like someone was keeping tabs on him. He told close friends he didn't trust those digital music platforms that claimed to be saving artists, and he felt like the game had only changed its outfit, not its intentions. One of those platforms was Tidal, owned by Jay-Z. When Prince teamed up with Tidal to release his music, it looked like a dream partnership on the surface. But behind the scenes, people say he wasn't fully comfortable with the energy around it. Some insiders say Prince noticed strange data patterns and profit setups that looked way too similar to the same corporate control he had been fighting his whole career.
I know people in the industry, been around for a long time, was there when he first started dating Beyonce at 17, 18, he was 30-something. You didn't know his age. I look back and see how old Jay-Z was. I think Jay-Z was born in like 69 or 67. Something like that, 67 right there? 69. I think he was born in 69. Beyonce, they say she was born in 81. You understand? But back then, in 81, when we was in the club together, 98, 99, she wasn't even supposed to be in the club, but she was in the club. It was Club Eugene. And Jay was dating her. And at that time, if you look at Jay's age, he was about 30 years old. So, isn't she still somewhat a child? To me, she is. But I guess they protect child. That's how you protect a child. You know, dating her at the age of 30-some years old and she's 17, 18 years old. If that's her true age. We really don't know her true age because Gabrielle Union said she went to junior high school with her, and Gabrielle Union is considered 6, 7 years older than Beyonce age that she getting. So we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? But to get back to your letter, I believe that the lawyer was doing what he did, and he threw shade at Puff in the interim of that by saying that all celebrities, you may think all celebrities are alike, you know what I'm saying? He know he's under this situation with Puff. But you gotta look at this right here. They sent him a letter, Busby sent him a letter for 2 reasons, I believe. To open up the floodgate, just like that 1-800 bad boy number did, and people start calling in saying what Puff did to them. Because he already had that information from that person when they first did the suit against Puff. She made those allegations back then. So he sent him a letter saying, yo, listen to me, man, hey, let's not let this go anywhere. Pay this off and we can walk away from it. And for what we know and what we've heard, that the girl information may not be totally right, because I know in 2000 what she just said, and me being there and around, I know the atmosphere, I know the players, I know how we moved and how we didn't move. You understand what I'm saying? So now, I know what she said about 2000 was wrong. I don't know, I'm not talking about what actually happened to her. I can't speak on what actually happened to her, but I can speak on the atmosphere that what she spoke on and how she got there. It wasn't happening. So now, to get back, they sent Jay this letter. Jay, nah, that ain't me. Guy with his lawyers and everything, his lawyers wrote that shit up, and now he presenting to the people like he wrote it. Everybody know that if he's stealing rhymes and he's stealing bars, I know that's your man, Mighty. But you know there's a lot of bars and a lot of rhymes he done stole from people.
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
Guess they on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
That shook him because he thought he had finally escaped those traps. After Prince passed in 2016, whispers started spreading about a private audio recording he allegedly made before everything ended. This so-called lost recording has never shown up publicly, but people who claim to have heard pieces of it said Prince talked about hidden deals, sneaky contract tricks, and manipulation dressed up as artist empowerment.
Online are saying that going after Piers Morgan was the right move instead of targeting Jaguar Wright. What do you think about that?
Again, what I think is people online, becoming, like if they don't look at the logic, like it doesn't matter if she could pay or not. They could make her life so uncomfortable that it could become illegal for her to continue to talk and lie. So again, what you want to do is, to me, if I'm being in that position, pause. I'm gonna say, I need the truth told. I don't need her to ever be able to spread that again if it's a lie. I don't want to hear her say that. My kids got to hear it. People in business have to keep asking me. They didn't do anything to stop her from keep talking. And a lawsuit suing her would do that. And if they sued Piers instead of a cease and desist, then everyone would know that you could get sued for that. But when you just say sorry, it's the damage was already done. So if someone would say, yo, you could put up some craziness and just say sorry, then why wouldn't anybody else do that? That's the only recourse. Oh, I'm gonna take you to court? That person that I know took me to court based on a lie. No cease and desist. So I don't know, that cease and desist is like, I get them all the time. It's a legal letter. It's not, it just means fair warning, but it's a courtesy. Pierce didn't give them the courtesy, so why are they giving him the courtesy? That sounds like a favor, but that's just my opinion, and it's only triggered because it's that dude. That's all. I ain't got nothing really good to say about him based on my experience. Those guys cheat to me, based on what they do, and y'all could break it down, do your business, see if these are conflicts. I don't want to ramble, but it's just how I see it. Yeah, but like I said, it was just me and Jay. It wasn't like we was running with a crew or none of that. We were just gonna be like, yo, what's up? That's all. It wasn't like, he was talking about us. We wasn't talking about him. So, he was coming into New York and we were probably gonna be in the same place. So it was like, obviously we knew we were gonna run into him. So we were like, yo, we might as well get to him before he get to us. So we were just trying to see what was it, we were just trying to see what his temperature was. Is this rap or what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Why did Jay redo Pac, Me and My Girlfriend, knowing that him and Pac wasn't, on good terms?
I have no idea, because he had a girlfriend. To me, that was his introduction. That he wanted everybody to know that homegirl was his girlfriend. That's how I looked at it. But I wasn't at that point. I wasn't around him that much. Like when that record came out, I was in Europe. I watched the rough cut from Paris or something. At that once homegirl got in the picture, our relationship had evaporated. It was already gone. Like I said, he wasn't talking to Biggs for a year. Him and Biggs weren't talking for 2 years or a year before that. It might have been 2 years they wasn't talking. It's crazy. What album was that on, Me and My Girlfriend?
The Gift and the Curse.
I wasn't nowhere near him for that. I don't even remember that album. I don't know a record on that album. I was out. After the Blueprint, I didn't even pay attention to the Black album. I was gone. Blueprint, I would say, was the last album that I was any part of. I mean, I think after that, a lot of the essence of Rockefeller was talking about our friendship. Once our friendship was over, there wasn't any more friendship to talk about.
According to the rumor, he even mentioned specific names tied to these systems and warned that creativity could end up controlled by streaming companies if artists didn't stay alert. Online forums lit up, pointing fingers at Jay-Z and Tidal, suggesting Prince realized too late that his independence might have been compromised again. And when Jaguar Wright recently brought up this alleged recording, she sparked the conversation all over again. She claimed Prince had warned people about certain individuals he felt were pulling strings across the industry, and that hit like a thunderbolt. Beyonce and Jay-Z stand as two of the most powerful forces the music world has ever seen, with influence that stretches way past songs and stages. Their empire reaches into fashion, streaming, entertainment deals, basically every corner of the culture. But when power gets that big, eyes stay locked on you, and the whispers get louder.
One thing about them tables, they always turn. And at this point, the table is playing Ring Around the Rosie. I remember there used to be a time where people would drag Nicki Minaj by saying, oh, that's why the industry don't f with you. That's why you don't be at the industry parties, because don't nobody mess with you. And now look, the party thrower is in jail. The party goers are quiet as a mouse and not speaking about it, stepping down from CEO positions and deleting tweets and telling you that they got hacked. Now everybody is sitting up here confused like, oh, why is Nicki Minaj the only celebrity speaking out against Diddy? And that's because when you're not involved in and they don't have nothing to use against you, you can come out and speak about whatever you want to. Which is exactly why Nicki Minaj is the only celebrity that has came out and blatantly let y'all know that she don't with that. And because of that, you're now getting threads trying to distract you from the fact that Nicki Minaj is publicly calling these people to the table. Like, the things in this thread that they're trying to use to distract y'all are so asinine. Like, why are you bringing up Nicki Minaj escorting Justin Combs to his Sweet 16 and trying to make that like a thing? Like, I'm confused. Because if we're going to make this a thing, y'all are going to have to make this a thing too. And this. I could go on and show y'all multiple celebrities escorting teenagers to prom, birthday parties. Like, that used to be a whole TV show if y'all don't remember. One of the other videos in the thread was them trying to say Nicki Minaj danced on a. You go in the thread and look at the video, she wasn't even dancing on the boy. And then y'all be quick to bring up her husband while completely ignoring this.
I stood up and I said, Your Honor, I'm the person who pressed the charges. I would like to drop the charges. I made a huge mistake. This was like, I'm in court, in front of his family, in front of the police, in front of everybody, like, whatever. And they was like, take it to the DA. And no.
Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain the person who was accusing him of doing something on video admitting to lying? How do you explain that? Y'all can't. Y'all just ignore it. So y'all can continue to try to use it as a drag against Nicki. Like, they want you to focus on Nicki Minaj when we're trying to get into this Diddy and who was on these tapes and who was at these parties. And see, this right here is a prime example of them wanting you to focus on Nicki Minaj. This was from yesterday. Why are you in the video talking about Nicki Minaj and some from a week ago? Like, we're off the Super Bowl. We're not worried about that no more. Like, nothing is by mistake. They're trying to actively distract you from the real conversation.
Damn. Can Jaguar Wright please come to the front of the class, please? Miss Wright, you used to say that you would walk girls out of the freakoffs. Is that not true? You said in detail with great passion that you were walking them out of the freakoffs. As far as we know, freakoffs consisted of 3 people: Diddy, Cassie, who was never walked out of, and male workers. Who did you walk out of the freakoffs? Because you said you were saving women. Cassie, as far as we know, was the only woman there, and you didn't save her. So who did you save? I think now that we have a clear vision of what the freakoffs were, Cassie, a worker, and Diddy in the corner, we know now Jaguar Wright was not there. She was not saving anyone. She was not walking anyone out of the freakoffs. Are you serious? We still have people who are like, well, Jaguar was right about Diddy. She said she was at the freakoffs saving people. That is obviously now not true. As far as we know now, the freakoffs were not Hollywood-filled, eyes wide shut parties with tons of people that someone like Jaguar Wright could somehow sneak into and pull people out of. They were tiny things in hotel rooms. Stop telling me, well, Jaguar was right about Puff. She was not.
Over the years, different creators have stepped forward saying Beyonce copied their visuals, their dance styles, and even certain vocal ideas from artists who didn't have the same spotlight. A lot of those creators said they were pushed into silence with heavy legal threats or tight non-disclosure agreements that shut their mouths quick. Some even claimed their careers slowed down right after they tried to challenge her team, like they hit a wall no one warned them about. And even though none of these accusations ever turned into official court rulings, the stories kept coming with one theme that never changed: the fear of going up against a giant in the industry. Prince once said that fame without control is just another form of slavery. And when you look at everything now, it feels like he was warning the world about systems that still push smaller voices into the shadows. That message hits even harder today when you hear how many people say they were scared to speak up. And when people say, he done stole from people, they're talking about long-standing claims aimed at big names like Jay-Z too.
I don't even listen to Beyonce records because I don't want to f her. I don't want to see her shake her body. I don't, even though Jay, I still consider her my brother, I don't even really know what she looks like. You understand what I'm saying? I don't really look at her, I don't listen to her.
When he launched Tidal, the world hyped it up as a brand new era. He brought in major artists and promised creative freedom and fair pay for everyone. But as time went on, reports started popping up saying smaller artists still weren't getting paid right, and that some streaming numbers were allegedly boosted to make certain albums look bigger than they really were. This left a lot of folks wondering what was real and what was smoke. Prince reportedly noticed the warning signs early on. He started realizing that Tidal's promise of artist liberation might have been dressed up like something new, but underneath it all, it felt like another corporate mask. When he tried to pull back, insiders claimed the tension started rising fast. Prince became extra protective of his space, telling close friends he didn't feel safe and felt like certain people around him were trying to get close just to access his catalog. Once again, he found himself standing against a system that needed artists to stay quiet and follow the program. And the idea that he may have left behind a recording explaining everything he went through has become a major part of how people remember him. Not just as a legendary musician, but as someone who tried to warn the world like a whistleblower with a mic. Jaguar Wright has never shied away from controversy, and she's been speaking on her experiences with major industry players for years. She has claimed she witnessed behavior behind the scenes that regular folks would never believe. So when she sat on Piers Morgan's show, she didn't hold anything back at all. She linked Diddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce into what she described as a long-running alliance meant to control the music business and shut down anyone who pushed back. She even said she'd been screaming about this for years, but that people only started taking her seriously now because of Diddy's arrest. The moment her comments aired, they were removed after lawyers for Jay-Z and Beyonce supposedly contacted the network demanding action. Morgan later apologized publicly, calling her statements false and unverified, but the apology didn't calm anything. It only sparked more suspicion among viewers who felt something wasn't adding up. People started wondering if Jaguar Wright had said too much, or if someone wanted her to stir things up while something even bigger stayed in the shadows. For months, social media has been overflowing with conversations about Diddy's so-called secret parties, which people described as wild, luxury-filled gatherings packed with celebrities, executives, and high-level influencers. Now that Diddy is facing legal charges for trafficking and racketeering, all those old stories about what really happened at those parties are being dragged back into the spotlight again. Jaguar Wright and a few other insiders have hinted that recordings were made during some of those events. They claimed those recordings were used as leverage to keep people quiet, almost like silent pressure hanging over everyone involved. And whenever folks online whispered about the situation, names like Beyonce and Jay-Z got tossed around in the rumors, even though no real evidence has ever come forward tying them to anything. Still, the connection between major power players in the industry and the mysterious vibe around Diddy's inner circle has people questioning just how deep these alliances actually run. This overlap between fame, fear, and long-term loyalty keeps the public locked in because it feels like there's more underneath the surface. And the idea that private footage or audio might exist, possibly capturing moments involving some of the biggest names in entertainment, is enough to make anybody wonder what truths might be sitting in the dark, waiting to come out. The entertainment world has always been dressed up in glamour, but behind all that shine, there's a whole culture of fear that people don't talk about enough. Insiders constantly say that one wrong word can end a career fast, no matter how talented you are. Prince dealt with that pressure, Jaguar Wright deals with it, and countless artists you've never even heard of face it every single day. And somehow, the same powerful names keep coming up whenever folks talk about control, influence, or intimidation in the industry. Prince once said the system is built to make you forget you own your soul, and that hits even harder now. It paints a picture of a world where artists get stuck in contracts, interviews get trimmed until the truth disappears, and fame turns into a shield that covers everything the public isn't supposed to see. And when shows like Piers Morgan's remove controversial comments, it might look like they're just keeping things clean. But it also makes people wonder how quickly free expression can be shut down when powerful forces step in. As Diddy heads into trial and more industry secrets start slipping into the open, Prince's journey feels like a warning that came years before its time. He was fighting for real artistic control long before today's generation started questioning streaming platforms and digital deals. He said music would turn into data controlled by corporations instead of the creators who actually make it, and that prediction couldn't have been more on point. His sudden passing left way too many questions with no answers, and that silence still bothers people who believe he uncovered more than he was able to share. Now, with Jaguar Wright bringing his name back into the headlines, it feels like the past and present are colliding in a way nobody can ignore. People are starting to connect the dots all over again. They're noticing the patterns, manipulation behind closed doors, powerful people being protected, and anyone who speaks up getting pushed to the side. Whether that lost recording is real or not, the idea of it has already shifted how folks look at the entire industry. It stands for every artist who ever tried to tell the truth and got shut down before their voice could be heard. Even years after his passing, Prince's voice still feels like it's echoing through the culture. His warnings about ownership and control hit louder with every new scandal that pops up. Jaguar Wright's statements might be controversial, but they've sparked a conversation that needed to happen. One about truth, power, and who gets protected in entertainment. The mystery behind that so-called lost recording might never be solved, but the message people believe it carries hasn't changed one bit. Prince wanted artists to own what they create and protect their voices from being twisted or controlled, and today, that message feels more urgent than ever. With more names getting tied to hidden scandals, private alliances, and secret deals, the big question hanging over everything is this. If Prince's final warning was meant for all of us, how long can the truth stay buried before somebody finally steps up and lets the world hear it? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video, and I'll catch you on the next one.